So students, take out your social study book. Today I will discuss about the later part of the chapter, lesson number 14, okay, page number 86. Okay, this one. Another battle, the Battle of Buxar, took place in 1764 between the combined army of the Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II and the two Nawabs with the British East India Company. Again the British emerged victorious, thus the Bengal administration finally came under the British rule and the British East India Company obtained the rights to collect revenue from the state. Okay, so another battle, the Battle of Buxar, took place in 1764 between the combined army of the Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II and two other Nawabs with British East India Company. And again the British emerged victorious. Okay, again the Britishers win in this battle also. Thus the Bengal political control finally under the British rule and the British East India Company obtained the rights to collect revenue from the state. After their victory in the Battle of Buxar, the British started extending their territories through various policies. So, when Britishers win in Battle of Buxar, Battle of Plassey, then the British started extending their territories through various policies. Okay, according to one such policy, the British declared that if a king died without a natural heir means child, okay, or the successor, his kingdom would be taken over by the British. This policy was called Doctrine of Lapse. So, according the Britishers declared a new policy that if a king died without a natural child, the kingdom would be taken over by the British rule. And this policy was called Doctrine of Lapse. And through this policy, the Britishers were able to occupy Jhansi, Nagpur and many other kingdoms. Okay. The subsidiary alliance was introduced by Lord Richard Wellesley. So, another policy named subsidiary alliance was introduced by Lord Richard Wellesley, who was the Governor General of India from 1798 to 1805. And according to this policy, Indian rulers under the British protection had to maintain British troops with their kingdom. This gave the British control over the affairs of many kingdoms. So, subsidiary alliance means, simply subsidiary alliance means was basically treaty. Okay, subsidiary alliance is basically a treaty between East India Company and Indian princes. Okay, according to this system, every ruler in India had to expect to pay subsidy to the British for the maintenance of the British army, and this gave the British control over the affairs of many kingdoms. Exploitation of Indians by the British. Once they were firmly established in India, the British started using many unfair means to achieve their aim of getting rich. The British began exploiting the farmers. Exploiting means wrong use of farmers. Indian farmers had to pay heavy taxes irrespective of the yield that they produced. As a result, they became very poor. Similarly, the weavers were forced to sell the cloth they produced at very low prices. The Indian cotton industry was also a victim of British greed. Britain did not grow cotton due to cold climate, but they had big cotton textile mills which required cotton. So cotton was bought at a low price from the Indian farmers and exported to Britain. In return, cotton cloth was sent back and sold at high prices in India. The British also did not allow Indians to start their own mills or factories. This exploitation led to dissatisfaction among Indians. A feeling of revolt grew in them. Okay, so when the Britishers firmly established in India, they started using many unfair things to achieve their aim of getting rich, and the Britishers began starting wrong use of farmers. Okay, and Indian farmers had to pay heavy taxes and and because of this the farmers were poor, and also the weavers forced to sell the cloth at a very low price. Okay, the Indian cotton industry was also a victim of the British greed. Here is given, Britain did not grow cotton due to cold climate, but they had a big cotton textile, that means cotton mill or company, which required cotton, and these Britishers cotton was bought at a low price from Indian farmers and exported to Britain, and in return they sent cotton clothes and selling at high prices in India. And through this the Britishers also exploiting Indian farmers, weavers. Okay, the Britishers also did not allow Indians to start their own mill. Britishers did not allow Indians to start their own mills or factories. This exploitation led to dissatisfaction among Indians and a feeling of revolt. Revolt means violent resistance to authority grew in them. Revolt against the British. People in different parts of India had been protesting against the exploitative policies of the British. The revolt of 1857, according to the historians, is an important landmark of Indian history. Okay, so these policies, from these things, people of different parts of India had been protesting against the exploitative policies of the British. Okay, they started revolt against them, and the revolt of 1857, according to the historians, is an important landmark of our history. The revolt was started by Indian soldiers in the British army. The reason for the revolt was the introduction of the Enfield rifle. Okay, Enfield rifle. A rumor spread that the cartridges means a small case containing an explosive material for a rifle. Okay, a small case containing an explosive material for a rifle. Of the rifles were greased with the fat of cows and pigs. The covering of these cartridges had to be beaten off before loading into the gun. So when the armies loading the gun, they have to beaten these cartridges, and these cartridges were greased with fat of cows and pigs. And because of this rumor, this meant that the soldiers had to put the cartridge in their mouth, and this was against the religious sentiments of both the Hindu and the Muslim soldiers. And this was the against of the religious sentiments of both Hindu and Muslims. An Indian soldier refused to use these rifles, and a revolt started. And because of this, a huge revolt started. The revolt of 1857, which began at Meerut, soon spread to the northern and central India, which is began on Meerut but soon spread to the northern and central India. It was joined by farmers, craft persons, and the other section of Indian society. Indian soldiers overthrew their superiors and marched to Delhi to crown Bahadur Shah Zafar, the last Mughal emperor, as their king. Indian rulers such as Rani Lakshmi Bai of Jhansi, Nana Saheb, Tatya Tope, and Kunar Singh joined the rebels. Okay, so it was, and in this revolt, joined by farmers, craft persons, other section Indian society, and Indian soldiers overthrew their superiors and marched to Delhi to the crown Bahadur Shah Zafar. And crown Bahadur Shah Zafar was the last Mughal emperor as their king. Okay, an Indian ruler such as Rani Lakshmi Bai of Jhansi, Nana Saheb, Tatya Tope, Kunwar Singh joined the rebels. Rani Lakshmi Bai was martyred and Nana Saheb continued the battle. The revolt continued for 2 years before it was crushed by the British. The mutiny failed because it lacked proper leadership and planning. But this mutiny failed because Indian people have lacked proper of leadership and planning. Some Indian rulers helped the British. Also, some of the Indian rulers, kings, helped the Britishers. Bahadur Shah Zafar was arrested and exiled to Burma. now Myanmar. So Bahadur Shah Zafar was arrested and taken to Burma, and there the Britishers exiled Bahadur Shah Zafar. When he breathed his last in Burma, he breathed his last. Okay, his two sons were killed, bringing the once mighty Mughal Empire to an end. And Bahadur Shah Zafar's two sons were killed by the Britishers. The revolt was a turning point in the Indian history, and this revolt was the turning point of the Indian history. The rule of the East India Company ended and India came under the direct control of the British Crown. After the revolt, Indians realized that if the whole of the India had been united, the British would have never succeeded. And after this revolt, we Indians realized that if the whole of the India had been united, the British would have never succeeded in their aim. Okay, because Britishers gain their policies through divide and rule policy. Okay, gain their aim through divide and rule policies. And after this revolt of 1857, Indians realized that if the whole of India had been united, the Britishers would never succeeded in their aim. Okay, so the chapter is complete. Thank you. Bye bye.